What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of Days of Our Lives. This was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Philip, listen, Philip need to open his goddamn eyes. Like, stop trusting Gabby. Like, clearly he don't fully trust her. Like, he knows she's up to something. Like, he don't trust her. You can't trust her. She's always up to something. And that's part of what I like about Gabby, because she's that type of character. She always up in somebody's shit. And my whole thing was, if I'm a CEO and I come in my office and I find an employee all up in my office on my computer, you're damn right I'm gonna be suspicious, because why are you in my office? She talking about, oh, her laptop wasn't working. So you're in an office building with a bunch of different offices that have computers, and you have to come into the CEO's office to use the computer. Philip needs to keep his eye on her. And plus, she had her thumb drive in his computer. So I'm like, clearly you're trying to extract some type of files from his computer. Like, Gabby really thinks she slid. Because her whole plan to take Philip out of the CEO chair, I don't think it's going to work entirely the way she wants it. Like, she's sitting there trying to butter Philip up, talking about some, oh, you're smart, you're this, you're that. You saw, a brilliant idea to bring Gabby Chic in and stuff like that. Just sprucing up his ego or whatever. And my thing was, I'm like, Philip, don't buy this bullshit. Don't buy it. Because she want him to hire Jake. And he was like, okay, I'll consider it. I said, no, Philip. I really don't think Gabby's plan is going to totally work the way that she thinks it's going to work. I don't think it will. Um, Definitely I don't. It's pretty sad, though, because Jake sitting there talking about, oh, I might be working at Titan soon or whatever. It's a sad ass shame that your woman has to get you a job. Like, that's sad to me. Like, seriously, Jake. I mean, think about it. When he was with Kate, Kate pretty much was telling him what to do as CEO of Demira. He didn't even know how to run that company. Kate was behind the scenes telling him what to do, playing a puppet master role, while he was the puppet, telling him what decisions to make, what businesses to go after, or whatever. He had no clue. So it's kind of sad. It's like, bruh, do you know how to do anything without the help of a woman? I'm just saying, you can't handle none of this yourself. Get you a new job, whatever, by yourself. I'm just saying. Um, but like I said, I don't feel like Gabby's plan is gonna completely work. I feel like Philip might hire Jake, but something tells me she's not gonna get the CEO chair like she thinks she's gonna get. I have a feeling that if she does succeed in her plan to take Philip down, something tell me Jake gonna end up getting that CEO chair. I have a feeling, because she's way too confident and cocky that her plan is gonna work to perfection. I don't think it is. I only think half of her plan is gonna work. Um, and she gonna be sitting there with egg on her face. It's gonna be interesting to see though. So anyway, moving on from that, Jake was sitting in the Rafe's kitchen or whatever, house hunting and whatnot. I'm like, Jake got money for a house, I guess. Him and Ava was sit. I wish that they would do more with Ava, because I feel like they're wasting her. Like, they're really wasting her, and I hate that, because that's a great actress that's playing her. Um, so Jake and Ava had an interesting conversation about the Vitali crime family, because the Vitalis, Jake used to work for that crime family, which is Ava's family. And he was asking her questions about, did she run it at one point, and she was like, yeah, I ran it at one point. Um, and he was asking her about what she was gonna do for a job, like what she gonna do now, and she was hoping that Nicole would have something for her at Basic Black. So of course she went to call Nicole at work, and Nicole wasn't at work, so she decided to go to Nicole's apartment. I was like, oh hell no. We already knew what was gonna happen. She was gonna end up finding Rafe there. I'm like, of course. And my thing was, she didn't even knock on Nicole's door. Like, she just walked into the apartment and saw Nicole on the couch with Rafe cuddled up, basically. Not even knowing the whole situation, because it's like, it's not what you think. So I got a feeling, based off the look of Ava's face, Ava's about to go crazy. Like, she got that crazy, wild look in her face. Like, all hell is about to break loose with her. But my thing is, Rafe should have been honest with her from jump about his feelings, because he's been having feelings for Nicole, and now that her and Eric are going through, a divorce or whatever, or they're about to start divorce proceedings, it opens the gate for him to kind of slide on in there or whatever. But I'm like, you better tell Ava something, because and be honest with her, because you're about to see the crazy come out of her, and I saw it all in her face. So anyway, moving on from that. That Ben and Sierra scene, I actually kind of liked it. It was funny. I saw a part of me still be thinking like, Ben, why are you trying so hard to get this girl back? Because she is so rude. Like she is hella disrespectful. Um, like the man done hurt his leg and all that. You don't even care. Like then acting like you don't give a damn or whatever. But then talking about, oh, I'm gonna bandage your leg up, then I'm gonna leave. I'm like, Sierra, stop playing these little dumbass games. Clearly you want to be with him, so why are you playing these little idiotic, little childish games? And I'm pissed at the writers, because they screwed the Ben character royally with that whole serial killer shit. I'm like, oh my god, that was the worst thing they could have done to Ben, was make him a serial killer. That was the worst thing, because now that he's reformed, you're still gonna have that stigma of a serial killer, and that's why a lot of fans can't get behind the two of them being a couple, because she's the daughter of Bo and Hope, and the daughter of Bo and Hope would never get with a serial killer or a former serial killer. It just wouldn't happen. I'm like, they really screwed the pooch on this one, because I'm like, y'all need to fix that. Like, make it a dream. On Dallas back in the day, where Bobby, came back alive and the whole season was a dream or whatever. I'm like, y'all need to kind of do something like that. Because y'all done saddled this man with that damn stigma of being a former serial killer, and that's going to be a detriment to his character now. I mean, I still like the Ben character. I really do. Um, he's one of my favorites. And Sierra, is one of my favorites too, when she's not acting all bitchy, but you know. And they sexy as shit together. They're hot. And it was so funny, because when he told her, well, you're gonna have to come closer to bandage my leg up, the way he was staring at her, and did y'all peep that he was staring at her ass? I said, that's what I'm talking about, Ben. Go stare at her. I'm not mad at Ben. Her booty was all poking out. I ain't mad at him for looking. I said, listen, that's a natural reaction. You got to sneak a peek. Um, because Victoria is fine as shit. I ain't even gonna lie. The actress that plays Sierra is fine as all outdoors. I ain't even gonna lie about that. The girl is serving looks and body and everything else, just gorgeous. So I can't blame Ben for looking. But she was sitting there remembering, having flashbacks about her time with Ben and stuff, and he noticed that. Like, because when they were talking about how he bandaged her up before, she got a little emotional and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, you remember something? She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Trying to play it off. So then she ended up leaving, and the damn car won't start now. I said, of course. And she keep hollering, thinking that Ben did something to the car. Ben was like, how the hell could I do something to the car when I've been in the cabin with your ass the whole time? I'm like, exactly. He ain't do shit to that car. And he was like, maybe it's just fate telling you that you need to stay here and remember. Because she's still adamant that she need to go marry Theo. I'm like, no, no, no. You and Theo are like vinegar and water. Y'all don't mix. Her and Theo are more like brother sister to me. I just feel like they got a friend vibe, and that's it. Like, don't break that little boy heart, because you are not in love with him. Let's just be real. And Ben, I at first I was like, Ben, leave that booty alone, let her go. And Ben was at his wits end with her at that point. He was like, I mean, if you want to go, I ain't gonna stop you. But she kept coming back, so I'm like, because her ass don't want to go nowhere. She want to be with you. She just too damn stubborn to admit it. I'm like, you might as well just shame the devil and admit it. Just tell that man the truth, that you want him and you want to be back with him. Ain't no sense in lying and keep playing these games. So anyway, moving on from that. That whole scene between Sammy and Nicole was hilarious. Like, Sammy dead ass came in there and was like, "Oh, I'm about to beat your ass." Sammy was ready to fight. She lunged at her. Rafe had to get in the middle of it and break their ass up or whatever. And she asking Nicole how she got the letter, and Nicole was like, "I ain't about to tell you shit." Nicole was like, "I ain't telling you shit because I ain't got to." Um, and Rafe, of course, with his big ass mouth talking about, oh, Philip gave, her the letter or whatever. Because now Sammy gonna put two and two together about how that letter got out of that fireplace. Because if Philip had it, then that means Lucas had to have taken it. She's gonna figure it out. Because what reason would Philip have to come to the DeMira mansion and go through their fireplace? Like, what reason? He would never come to the DeMira mansion for what? Um, so she gonna figure it out if she hasn't already. Um, but Sammy was such a damn hypocrite as usual, sitting there mad at Nicole. Oh, we're not done here. This is far from over, and threatening Nicole. I'm like, Sammy, you started it. And Nicole told her, she was like, shit, I wouldn't have snitched on you if you ain't publicly humiliate me in front of family and friends. And I agree. At least Nicole gave her the courtesy of being privately humiliated by EJ instead of the whole damn world. You know, at least her family and friends didn't have to witness that. You know what I mean? Nicole had to go through all that public humiliation. Sammy, I mean, come on, you went through it privately. You should be thanking your lucky stars for that, because we can all imagine what Marlena would have had to say. Marlena probably, please. Marlena would have been sitting there stone faced, rolling her eyes, because she know how her daughter is. And of course, Sammy probably gonna try to get revenge on Nicole again. I'm like, oh Lord, because you know how Sammy is. She thinks that she can do things to people, but if they do something to her, they're in the wrong. I'm like, no, Sammy, that's not how that works. Your ass is wrong, and you need to admit it. You accused her of something that you did your damn self. Talking about, oh, she was two-timing my brother. Okay, and you were two-timing your husband. Are you any better? Like, seriously. Um, But after Sammy left, though, I love how Nicole had that reflection. Like, she got all emotional and stuff because even though in the moment it felt great to get revenge on Sammy, it didn't do anything for her. She was like, what did it get me? Like, yeah, Sammy and EJ might break up, but she's still getting a divorce and she's still by herself with no man. She was like, that revenge shit is not all it's cracked up to be, because in the moment it feels good to get some revenge, but after you got it, it's hollow, because it's like, okay, I got it. What now? You know what I mean? So I love that Nicole had that reflection, like, okay, I got my revenge, but I still feel empty. It's like it was a hollow victory. Um, I get it, but see, I'm a different breed, because once I get revenge on your ass, I'm still gonna be smiling about it. Because at least I got some shred of revenge on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I got some payback on your ass. But I like how she reflected. So anyway, moving on from that. Um, Lord have mercy. That scene between EJ and Lucas was the shit. That was my favorite scene. Like, EJ, he was so menacing in that scene. Like, his facial expressions every time Lucas would say something negative to him, like, he would just get angrier and angrier and angrier. Like, he just looked like he was just boiling on the inside. Like, you know how you eat a flaming hot Cheeto and you just want to spit out fire? That's how he was looking. Like, he just, whoa, and a whole mouth of fire would have came out. That's how he was looking. Um, Lucas came in, he was trying to deny everything at first, talking about, oh, it's not true, whatever's in that, whatever Nicole said, or whatever's in that letter is not true. Lucas, EJ was like, look, bitch, I don't want to hear it. He was like, Sammy already snitched, she already confessed, so I already know what happened. And Lucas sitting there talking about something, well, we didn't have an affair or whatever, we only had sex twice. Sir, to me, this is just my philosophy. If you have sex with somebody more than once, it's an affair to me. I don't care if it was 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Listen, 2 times is 2 times too many for my liking. If y'all did it one time, maybe, but y'all did it more than once, and on top of that, Sammy lied about how many times y'all did it. Got busted. But I love how Lucas was throwing everything in EJ's face, though. Lucas came in, he was like, all right, fuck that. I'm not apologizing for shit. Because he was like, at the end of the day, you treat Sammy like shit. He was like, and have you forgotten the first time you got with Sammy? He said you basically forced her and told her that if she didn't have sex with you, you was going to let me die. Like, to me, back then, that was pretty much rape. Like, it was rape to me. Like, what EJ did to Sammy back then definitely was rape, because he basically forced her. He left her with no choice but to do it. So I'm glad Lucas threw that in his face. I was like, good. Lucas was standing on his own with EJ today, and EJ just could not take it. Like, he was just so pissed, and he grabbed that letter opener, and thank God Sammy came in when she did, because I had a feeling he was definitely gonna stab Lucas. And Lucas, he looked like he was nervous at first when he picked up that letter opener, but then he was like, you know what? Let me call your bluff. And that's exactly what Lucas did. He was like, I'm gonna call your bluff and see if you really man enough to stab me. Come on and stab me. He said, go ahead. Um, a part of him probably thought like EJ wasn't gonna do it or whatever. I say, yeah, well, that was a hell of a gamble, because if Sammy didn't come in and the way EJ was looking, he would have definitely a couple times on your ass. And when Sammy came in and stuff, EJ was just boiling, even still. And even watching the episode yesterday, EJ really did look like a few times he looked like he wanted to slap, like he wanted to put hands on Sammy a few times. I was nervous. I said, are they gonna have new EJ hit her? I was like, not on TV. I was like, are they gonna do that? Because the way he was looking looked like he was ready to put them paws on her, like he was ready to turn into Ike Turner for a moment. But EJ basically told Sammy, you know what, get the hell out this house. He was like, Harold already packing your shit. You gonna get out and you gonna leave. He was like, I don't want nothing to do with your ass no more. We're done. He was like, this is over. Um, and of course, Sammy wasn't taking that line down. But I'm like, you really don't have a choice. And Lucas was like, damn, thank God you got here, because he was gonna kill me. Sammy was like, shit, I should have let him kill your ass. I think she know that he took that letter. She know. She definitely know. Cause how else Philip got it? So anyway, that was a good ass episode. I enjoyed that shit. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about it, and I'll see y'all all later. Have a great day. Peace.